right hand, left hand, and I don't think he's going to get up. I think it's all over. I think it's over. Is he going to get up? Can he get up? Can he get up? He does. Oh my goodness.
If you haven't already, please also subscribe to us on Apple, Spreaker and Spotify. Just type in Brawl Boxing and you'll find us there. Thank you.
I just want to start by giving a shout out to our amazing sponsor, CBD Uplift. They provide the best CBD products on the market, including oil, gummies, and capsules. I've actually tried the products myself, and I can genuinely say they're the best CBD I've ever had, especially the gummies. I'd seriously recommend anyone. If you use our discount code BRAWL20, you'll get 20% off and free shipping. So thanks a million, lads. Violent Gentleman, the newest and fastest growing boxing-inspired training/casual wear brand established in Northern Ireland. Violent inside the ropes, a gentleman outside of them. Behave accordingly. Check out their website, www.violentgent20.com, and all of their socials. Facebook, ViolentGent20, Twitter, ViolentGent20, and Insta, ViolentGentleman20. Thank you. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Brawl Boxing Podcast. I'm Kieran McCourt, and I'm joined by co-hosts Colin McGuigan and Ram McLaughlin.
So, guys, very excited to get on this next guest. We've had loads of requests since this big win at the Fèile. We're delighted to have on super middleweight Padraig McCrory. Paddy, how you doing, mate?
I'm very well, boys. Very good.
The hammer is here.
Before we take it back to the start, before we take it back to the start, like obviously you grew up in St James's, and St James's could actually have their unbelievable boxing five-a-side team. Literally the boxers that have come out of St James's is unreal. Like I reckon, to be fair, my missus from St James's, so I'm an adopted St James's man now too. So
sponsored by Girl Pub.
Yeah, sponsored by Girl Pub. But was it always about, like, see, when you get into boxing, was it all about like self-defense really for you, and like, or who the heaviest digger in St James's was, or was it more like you seen a career in it?
There's only one heavy digger in St James's, and it's me. But apart from that, in fairness, there was about 20 people that went, and I was the one that didn't. And there was a guy that lived in St James's, and his dad owned he drove a small minibus. So he used to stop at the corner, pick everybody up, and drive them to a boxing club. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a go. Jumped in the minibus, and then I just started. So I think there was about 10 of us, and it was Robbie Devine, and it was his dad, and his dad used to pick us up in the minibus, and we used to go to the boxing club, like so.
And was the Rook and stuff there, the Rook and D and all that?
Yeah, the Rook, D Walsh. You had Robbie Devine, obviously. There was so much. It was just like every week there was someone new. So like we were all crammed on the bus, left off the boxing club.
Were they not bringing in people's dads for you to fight at that point?
I was 14, and I used to spar men, and I was heavy, like.
Yeah, jeez.
My brother actually went, and he went for about a year, and he left boxing because me and him was sparring one day, and I kind of got heavy, and I cracked him a couple. But he's a bad temper, so he fucking took off his head guard, pulled up the gloves, threw him on the ground. He says, let's go. And Frankie said to him, out you get, go on. And he never came back.
Were you always hitting hard at that time, Paddy?
No, not overly. Like, in fairness, I dropped the first person I ever dropped was I was 15, and the guy was about 20. But like, it didn't happen for like about 2 years.
Fuck me. And did you notice like people would have obviously growing up in St James's? There's probably a lot of sort of scraps and stuff, and you were Corpus, weren't you, as well? It's like a tough school. Did people respect you more when you box? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, you know what? Like, since St James, like we were all like mates. You know, like there was no like separate crowd, so like there was never really like feuds. And there was always scraps like on the football pitch, like or whatever. But I was known
against Davis or the Village.
Well, I've been involved in a couple of rats. In villages. But I was known as Nick because like this is on the football pitch. Because anytime I lost, I friggin' lost the bop and started kicking people.
I've got a story about that, Paddy, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
So you were marking me in a Gaelic match. Don't know if you remember this. Right?
Clearly doesn't remember it.
I know. No, I bet we laugh, you mate. Right, so you were marking me in a Gaelic match, and we were playing these. I played for Agnes's. You were obviously playing for ODs, right? And I think it was around the time you packed them boxing for a while. So you were playing. I think you were playing fullback. Yeah, you were playing fullback, and I was playing full forward. And I'd scored 1-7. Just to add that in there, right?
You know what? I never recall playing fullback in my life.
It was up. Maybe it was halfback then. Maybe centre halfback.
Yeah,
It might have been halfback to be fair. But it was up at OD's pitch, right? And there was a big, like I had scored 1-7, and you were talking to me the whole match, seemed like an absolute gent, right? Yeah. And I've given you a bit of a run around to be fair. Okay. And see about 10 minutes later, there was a big scrap, and I was pulling someone out. Like I wasn't hitting anyone. I was pulling someone out, and you came behind me and cracked me in the back of the head. And big massive dig in the back of the head. My head was aching, no joke. I turned around and I seen it was you, and you were just walking away as if you hadn't done anything. So I came back. We were walking back towards. You were definitely playing halfback actually, because there was people behind us. We were walking back towards the net, and you said, "Here, I'm really sorry about that, mate. I thought you were someone else." And I was like, "You're not the biggest gent ever." He's just hit me an absolute crack in the back of the head. He sound us.
I don't know, because if I hit in the back of the head, I think it would have been cleaned out. To be honest.
Oh, my head was aching for about 5 days.
He still got CTE from it, buddy.
That's why he wears caps 24/7.
I know.
To be fair, ODs versus Aggies, that'd be some scrap like.
Yeah.
Aggies won it every day of the week, to be fair. Especially big Potty at halfback. But Potty, you packed in boxing for a few years, or as we said, in your 20s, and then you decided to come back and make a run for the Ulster Seniors. What made you want to come back? Was it just like, were you just playing Gaelic, fed up of it, or?
I played Gaelic. I played like a wee bit of soccer and stuff. And then I was in the house one day. It was like the 2nd of January or something, and I was reading the paper, and it says like Ulster Elites, like the weigh-ins, or like the 29th of January or something like that. And I was sitting to have a beer, and I was like, you know what? I could probably give us a go. I was like 26 maybe, and then I was like, right, I'm going to go training. And then the next day I went up to Paul Highland and was like, I want to fight. And he was like, when? And I was like, in about 4 weeks. And he was like, no chance, like it's the seniors. And I was like, just give it a go. And he was like, right, come to every session, and if you miss one, there's no chance you going into them. So I missed the second last session, and he was nearly gassing me, like, but then I fought on him. So I trained for like about 28 days, like about 20 days, I don't know. But yeah,
the final was in the Dockers, wasn't it?
No, Europa Hotel, Europa.
Where did you fight in the Dockers? And me and my dad went down in Damien.
That was a box off. It was box off, yeah. But it was the same guy.
How long were you actually out of boxing for then before you came back? 28 days.
Probably about 4 years. I probably had like, I think one exhibition in about 4 years, but like it was nothing. Like.
Where did you start? You started St. Aggie's then?
St. Aggie's, yeah.
And then you were at, how long were you at St. John's?
Probably I left after like St. John's. Frank always gave me like a hard time. So he was just, you never train, you're a lazy bastard and all. And I was like, but he was terrible. But then I left. So I was there. I was at probably St. Agnes maybe about 3 or 4 years, and then St. John's probably about 2 years. Yeah, we tried to brought like to about 2021, and then I left.
And then you packed it in for a few years after that.
Yeah.
You were out after St. John's. You were at a game for long. How long are you talking? 5 years, 4 or 5 years?
4 years, about 4 years. Yeah.
Fucking hell! To make a comeback then in a month, like.
Yeah.
Days, like.
And then I had 3 fights in 1 week.
Jeez.
Somehow I don't think in that 4 years you didn't throw one punch.
He threw it on the back of my head. I got a haymaker in the back of the head, and I'm still feeling it.
Coco was Potty's comeback fight.
And I was like, I can do this again, you know. That's good. The next day.
Do you know what it was, I think, Potty? Because you smacked him, he shit himself, didn't do anything back there. He obviously realised, you know what, the power's still there. He's obviously shit himself, he doesn't want it. Like, Potty, you turned over pro in 2017, so like, you obviously were doing that and balancing a full-time job as well. Like, how difficult is that for boxers to do? Because I know obviously a lot of boxers would do that. So for you, obviously putting in all that training and all that dedication to have to balance out a full-time job must have been hard.
Yeah, well, I work full time and I signed over, but in fairness, like when I first signed pro, I was like, I'll have 2 or 3 fights and like see what happens. Like I didn't really take it serious. Like I didn't really take my my whole amateur career. Like it was never serious to me. I was just like, I'm okay at boxing. I'll go and fight, and that's it. And then I signed over, signed with Fèile, and I was getting married in the same year. So I got married in March, and I got home a couple of days. So like I was off for like 4 weeks. I had like a massive honeymoon, and then I come back, and Kieran phoned me and saying like there's a big show here, like it's in the Odyssey and stuff. And I was like, fuck me, like I never thought I would fight in the Odyssey. I thought it was just going to be like the Dab niche or whatever. So then he was like, but it's in like 6.5 weeks. So I was in America for 25 days. So I was obviously sitting really heavy. I was like 92 kilo, and the fight was at 76. So yeah, that trying to work full time, cut weight, like and train like a full time fighter. Because once I heard I was fighting in the Odyssey, like I was like, fuck, this is serious now. So then I started training hard, but like it's a hard balance. But then, from I got married, friggin' knocked out. Sorry, that's a bad way to say it. I've had 2 kids, and I have one on the way. So in 4 years, I've had no TV, and now 3 kids deeper.
Mate, fuck, that's a lot of balance, like, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough.
To be fair, I've seen him in Gymco. He does fuck all in Gymco. Like,
you think yourself?
That's why I have no club.
You'll get there, mate. It's all right.
What was it like for you then? So did you make your debut on that Bernat undercard? Yeah,
Bernat Hoskins. Yeah,
Bernat Hoskins. So would you have preferred almost to be in a smaller, just because like for me, I'm imagining if it was me, I'd probably want to start smaller and then like starting in the Odyssey, or is it better just to jump in at the TV?
To be honest, like I was buzzing, like because I never thought I'd get that chance. Like the Odyssey, like my first fight, it was massive for me, and it was good because I signed with Kieran, and Kieran's English, and he had links with Eddie Hearn, and that's the only reason why I get on. Like if I had signed with someone local, like I probably would never get on that show. So that like that was a bonus. I think things have fell like fairly well from there, but no, like I was buzzing, really happy about it, but then I kind of felt out of place because there was all these like Ryan Burnett and James Tennyson was on the bill and Paul Hayden was doing really well, like, and the guys looking about me going like, fuck, like these are all like stars of like boxing in Belfast. And then like what made it feel worse was I was down at it was like a public workout, and I think it was in Castle Court, and like we're in like doing boxing and stuff, like in the ring, and a fucking reporter says to me, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm fighting at the weekend. He was like, fuck, I haven't seen you in ages.
No way.
I thought you were there as like a fan.
Name and shame him.
I don't know. And he knows me really because I said it to him after that, like, so I have.
It was Tom McGuigan Brawl Boxing.
No. It stinks of Thomas Kane, to be honest.
It was David Kelly.
David Kelly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get that from the Brawl Boxing boys, do you know what I mean?
No.
So obviously, Paddy, you're being trained by D. Wells now, who you've got in boxing. So it's sort of like almost like a full circle moment for you both. Yeah. What's it like training under D?
No, brilliant. So like obviously I stopped boxing and D was a pro then. Do you know what I mean? And he was doing really well. He was like 11 or 12-0. So like D was flying, and then I came back to boxing, and D was still there. He may have had 2 fights as I was a pro, and then he stopped. But from I started with D, like things have changed. Like there's a good buzz. There's plenty of fighters about. By the end, like with Ray, it was only me and Ray, and like me and Ray got on really well. But it was just us, and we were getting in, and like we're doing our own thing. But I moved to D, and straight away, like, you knew D was like not only a good coach, but he just loves boxing. Like, like you would say to him about the 1990 Olympics, and he fucking knows who won them. He he studies boxing, he watches boxing constantly, and he does things a bit different. But I just soaked it all in, and like we really gel together well. Like.
He's a bit of bromance, isn't it?
Well, me and D, like he's my wife's cousin, so he is.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So, and like we grew up together about a second walk away. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
no, that's good.
So is it weird for you, for anyone who doesn't know, you D and Rory and a Lotus and use box for my dad down at St. John's, and that gym was like, it was like a wee, what was it like? It was like a wee sweat box, wasn't it?
There was 2 bags and a 5-foot ring, and you couldn't move. You couldn't move.
I remember hearing a story, like my dad asking Rory to help him set up the ring, and Rory replied going, "Fuck's sake, Frankie, I can barely make toast. Never mind set up the ring."
Very true. Frankie goes, "For fuck's sake, Rory, get with the program." And we're standing up here with the fucking rope in his hand, shaking. The wheel I can do nothing.
So when you were, is it almost weird though, I suppose, that you grew up as like D was like your training partner and then he's training you? Is that like a weird transition?
Well, no, it's not, because D, like, I was obviously like with Ray, and D already had his own fighters. So like he's established his coach. So it didn't, like, no, there was nothing in it there, like, but obviously I'm a year or two older than D, so back training, like, I was always the older one, and I was always the one like maybe like I don't know. I felt.
Well, I know what you mean, because that's what I'm thinking when I used
to them all. Do you know what I mean? And now D's coaching me. It has changed a wee bit, but yeah, no.
Reversal kind of thing.
Reversal.
Yeah, when I went down, when I used to go down to you, it's like you were always the most sort of
mature.
Give me D and Rory if you're watching, or any of the rest of them. You were always the mature one, and like quite like, not that they weren't. Well, Rory wasn't mature. Like,
it's not hard to be more mature than Rory Dalton.
Even now, but like I remember you, and you used to spar big Barry Collins. He had come down. Remember?
Big bazooka
as well.
Big bazooka. Want to see him now? He's a big dude.
Yeah, mate. He looked like he could fucking bang. When I used to see you get in the sparm, I was like, rather you than me. Like,
Paul, you've been on some huge cards, right? So like the last 2 Fèiles, like 50-50 fights. Just on the last Fèile as well, we feel like Brawl Boxing came in with an assist on that one. You know, we seen you in the hotel loads. You were out running, and McCourt was sitting having pints. And every time you were going past and going up to the room, so you were going on up, and then your opponent was coming down.
It started actually, but from the
actually, yeah, no, sorry, I forgot about the public workout. See, at the public workout, he was eyeing up McCourt. He thought you were McCourt, so he kept making eye contact with McCourt. So he was looking at him and like constantly looking, and he thought, because it said "Violent Gentleman" on the back of our thing, Russian TV and all got a photo of me, thinking "Violent Gentleman" was something to do with you, right? So McCourt, he kept on looking at McCourt, and we got in the hotel. McCourt that night ordered a big pint. Right, so you'd walked up to your room, and then he was out, and he came back. He was out a run or something, and he looked at McCourt, and he went, "Oh, you drink." So he's thinking you're having pints on the Monday, and he's going to himself, "Happy days, this big lad's taking a dive." I swear to God.
And Ari comes on the Guinness. What
he thought this big lad's taking a dive here on Friday night. Happy days. He probably get in there ring and spark him out.
He probably went straight up the hotel bar and ordered a vodka. He's like,
these Irish are mental, such a stereotype as well, and live up to it. He's going fight week painting like mad.
But what I wanted to touch on there was, you're always in these 50-50 fights, right? But you, out of everyone that we spoke to that week, were probably the most calm. You didn't seem like nervous. You didn't seem as if you were annoyed trying to make weight or anything. How do you keep that whenever like it is a 50-50 fight and you don't know what's going to happen?
Well, I'm not sure, because in the house I'm shaving myself. See the fight, I was no, I was nervous, like, but leading up to it, like, see all like the workouts and all that sort of stuff. I still got on because like I'm 33 and like I'm going. I probably won't see this again. So just fucking enjoy it all, which I try and do. So no, I don't really. I try not to let it like phase me. Do you know what I mean? So
do you prefer being in like a 50-50 fight? Because like we spoke to Tyrone about this, and he loves just being in a 50-50 war where he doesn't know if he's going to win or lose, and he just wants to entertain. But you strike me as the same, because like you get into these fights and none of them are in your favor. Really, they're all pretty well balanced.
No, I listen. I just fight. Like, say to say you're fighting fucking Frankie McCourt, I'll fight him.
No, you wouldn't, buddy. No, you wouldn't.
Well, do you not feel though, like, because you took obviously that 4-year break and then turning pro like at 27, like a bit later, do you feel like you've got more miles in the tank or less miles in the tank, so you can go for later on? Do you know what I mean? So like you're not at retirement age, like in the next few years, like you've still got a lot more in you.
Well, this is something like I always say that I'm 33, but I don't have the miles to clock. Like, I didn't do all the hard rounds and like a sparring and fights over 4 or 5 years, which like all the rest done. Do you know what I mean? So I still feel fresh. I feel like I'm getting better and better every fight as well. So there's a thing I always say is just like I'm riding the wave and like just see where it goes. But I'm feeling great.
Yeah, 100%. And as well, like I know you always say you say about age and stuff, but fucking 33 now for professional boxers, a lot of them aren't even coming into their prime. Shit, you look at recent, you know, your Tony Bellew's and stuff, people who are only coming into their prime in their mid 30s.
Yeah.
And there's been so many, some of the best in the world, like Terence Crawford's fucking 36 or something, 37. Mm-hmm. He's only been getting better.
Well, the thing is as well, like if I had a signed pro back like 22, 23, I definitely wouldn't have got like the same opportunities now because they weren't about then. Like there was no MTK and there was no like Ram Burnett. There was Carl Frampton. He was fighting maybe like once a year in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? But now there's consistent shows and there's big shows, and I sell good tickets. So I've been involved in them all, and I definitely wouldn't have got like the same opportunities then as I'm getting now. So I think the timing of it's perfect.
Also, if it helps, you only look about 25, so
I know you and McCorder like twins.
You touched on obviously like how well supported you are, and like it was evident that at the fight at the Fèile, like the biggest roars I felt were for you in the field. It was mental. I think you were the third. Were you the fourth fight before Mick was on? The fourth.
I was the first TV, and then you had
first TV. Yeah.
And then Donovan, McKenna, McGregor, and then
You don't usually get that amount of crowd, you know, like from the first TV fight, and like the crowd for you there was insane, and for you to put on that performance as well, like it must have like give you such a buzz looking into the future now and the possible fights that can come up for you. Is there anything in the works, anything planned at the minute you can give us an exclusive on?
Well, the exclusive is Jimmy Conlon let me down today. We were meant to meet up. Yeah, we were meant to meet up and talk. We were meant to meet up and talk, and have a coffee, and to get my belt. I still haven't got my belt. Jimmy has it in his house. So we were meant to meet today, and I got no reply, which I'm very disappointed about. But it's actually at 8:30, and sorry, mate, I'm busy. I have 3 kids, so.
Yeah, you have to give him a Bible on that one. Like,
and Paddy saying he'll fight anyone, so Jimmy may watch his front door. Like,
Jimmy will be watching TV and some big fucking Russian cunt just be thrown through.
Doesn't make me laugh, Paddy. When you obviously won that fight, like the fella, like the Russian that you beat, he was like straight away turned around, and obviously the music was playing, and he was slapping his gloves together, like clapping along, dancing.
I've never seen a guy who just got his nose broke be so happy in his life.
I know.
I find him, you know. Where's the belt? Where's the belt?
He was an absolute lunatic.
He didn't bring the belt.
Paddy, what did you do after your fight that night? Did you stick around, or do you have to go to hospital? What's the procedure?
No, I had to go get my eye glued, and then I walked home on my own. Well, I walked my wife's mum, who only lives up the street, So I walked up and just got changed and then just walked back down.
What's like the adrenaline dump after, like, though, you know, when you've gone from like thousands of people singing your name and you're the fucking hero and everyone's coming up the after and you've just knocked out a round and you're just on top of the world. You're like, life doesn't get any better. And then you sort of get up, like, you know, the next day and life's just back to normal. You've your kids screaming, and is there like a big massive adrenaline dump, or do you sort of get used to it?
There's definitely that sort of like it was like it's over, you know, like what's next, you know. But I just soak it all in, and the feeling was amazing. It was that's so like in my career I've had some really good feelings, like beating Sean McGlinchey, who I thought like it took my spot like in the Commonwealth Games, who I'm not really friendly with actually. So that was a great feeling. Beating Steve Collins like in the last round in a real close fight, but there at the Falls Park, like I think Jamie said after the fight that in his eyes, like I was the underdog, and I kind of sensed that of a couple of people, and like to get that win, like the adrenaline and the feeling was amazing. But like I woke up the next day and it was like I went downstairs and like my kids were there and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So like.
You're still here. You're still a champ at home anyway. So
yeah, that's it. And I want to show my belt.
Front door, Jimco on the Monday. Back to reality, like.
Yeah, so like I fought on the Friday. I had a few drinks on the Saturday and Sunday, and then I was back to work on the Tuesday morning at 6 a.m.
That's wild.
No rest for the wicked.
No. Now you have the belt, Potty. Right before we let you go, I know you're busy. You've had a long day at work, and we're melting your head at 9:30 at night. Worst thing ever. But see before you do go, right? Like you now have this belt. Do you want any of the big names in that division? Is there anyone you want? Who do you want?
Canelo next, buddy.
I'm Canelo Alvarez. He's going to pay me money.
No more Jimco.
So I accepted a fight with David Lemieux, who I think ranked number 3 with WBC. It was so close to getting made. I accepted a fight with an Italian guy who was 19-0, Scardina. Who's ranked?
Oh, he's Matchroom, isn't he?
Matchroom, who's ranked number 10 with the IBF. They said no, so they were looking a fight with an MTK fighter, and they get back, and Jamie says no, but we have me, and they sent me, and then they said no. So that's another fight. I think a good fight for me now is probably Jack Cullen.
That can't be such
yeah, like
the support as well. The support against each other would be unreal.
Yeah, I think he seems like a decent fella. Like so, but like it's business. It's just a fight. Do you know what I mean?
He'll not be decent whenever he sees the hammer coming at him. Like
that's the plan. That's the plan. Make Cleaver feel the
hammer. Would you like literally? You know, some fighters say like they'd fight anyone, but really like there's a few like sort of would price themselves out of fights or not, you know, not really want to get in there. Like, but would you, like you said you were about to take on Lemieux, as you said you took on Sean McGlinchey after losing 2 controversial decisions in the amateurs. You took that fight very early. You took the Collins fight very early. This here Russian, as you say, like we even had people say all fight week everyone really wanted you to win. Like you're the biggest gent in boxing, but there was a lot of people being like, fuck, tough fight for Potty. Like, do you know what I mean?
So that guy, like he just knocked out a guy who was 27-0, who's going to fight Colin Johnson for a WBO like international title next. Do you know what I mean? So he was a good fighter.
Yeah, he definitely was. He was a gentleman as well for all the little.
Oh, he was, yeah.
He became best mates with all the away fighters, like. But honestly, Tyrone McKenna's opponent, Jose Felix, like me and him, like he's one of the nicest men I've ever met.
Tyrone started getting jealous. It got that bad, didn't it?
I got to the point I was watching the fight on the night. I was like, I don't know who I'm going for here. Like. All Tyrone's family
shut in the court right like that.
But
yes,
work a body, Jose. Work a body.
But what you're saying, like, I would put anybody, but I don't think it makes sense for me, like to take a step back. So, like, I could take like an all Irish fight again, like, but I I don't think it's like it's worth my while at the minute. I'm trying to move forward, so I would definitely fit anybody. I'm not overly bothered, but I just want to keep like moving forward, like rather than like fighting somebody who's probably ranked behind me.
Yeah. You always want to be progressive.
Yeah.
What I mean is, like, theoretically, obviously this wouldn't happen, but if you got a call tomorrow morning, just completely theoretically, and they were like, fight Canelo Alvarez, obviously you get
He's done it.
really well.
Without a doubt in my mind, like yes, of course.
And here, when he sees a hammer, he'll know all about it as well. we Canelo be running straight back around. He's seen that big old D's t-shirt before.
Enough.
We've got it. A Facebook party is calling out Canelo Alvarez. Here, tell you what, we are mates with Eddie Hearn now, so we
are. Do you know what? I think we actually call this video Padraig McCrory wants Canelo Alvarez next. And then we tag Eddie Hearn and make it happen. Brawl boxing with the assist again.
Or Jack Cullen.
I will have to do Jack Cullen. Like, can't be following the title.
Here, but St. James's versus Mexico, like that would be crazy. That would be a cauldron.
Walking out at the Fèile and the Rook could throw his trolley at him.
The Rook's trolley, that must be mentioned number 10 now on the podcast.
I drove past the Rook's house today and the trolley's still there, so it's safe.
We need to get a photo of it.
How long has it actually been there? Because I remember going up as a kid to the Scaff like a few times, and it was there then. Is that just like a landmark?
Well, Dunnes Stores changed all their trolleys about 10 years ago, or I guess parks in there. All their trolleys about 10 years ago to a magnetic wheel, so you couldn't take it out. This one doesn't have the wheel, so it's at least 15 years.
They changed their trolleys because of the Rook stealing it.
Yeah.
Finally, what he did, I remember you saying to me at the media workout, the Madai still hadn't texted you. Did he text you before the fight?
He texted me a full novel.
No.
See, in fairness, everything he said was bang on. Like, it was everything that we worked on. So, no,
I rang him fuming after. I was like fucking talking to Paddy. He said you've texted him before every single fight thing, and I says, and you haven't texted him. He says I was actually planning to, but I haven't watched the video yet. So I was like, I'm gonna call him up, and then I'm gonna make sure you did.
No, a quick story about your dad, Big Frankie, right? Big hard Frankie, best left hook in boxing. That's what he says. So me, Rory, and D, and then Frankie, and it was an old coach called Sparky Ray, and we're in Dublin, and we're coming home, and driving through Dublin, and like Dublin's a wee bit crazy. So Frankie and his big black, is it Volkswagen Passat?
Aye, Passat, big Passat.
Then it was a cracking car. He had sunglasses and all. Sparky Ray was slightly hungover in the back, and he was like, "Oh, fuck this." We stop at the lights. Some fella, all of his tits, like, walks over the car. Frankie starts getting edgy. He starts banging the window. Frankie says, "Don't look at him. Don't look at him." Don't look at him. Here's Sparky. Get me out the fuck out. Open that car, Frankie. Frankie, no. Do a red light.
I got it. Tell you what, I'll be getting Frankie on this podcast to confirm this story.
Sparky Ray says, "What are you doing, Frankenstein? Fucking picking boxing my bollocks."
Frankie will be on this story and outed next week. I'll be getting him on.
I can't believe it. For years, Frankie McCourt was my hero. Best left hook in boxing.
He has all these like paper cutouts of all his like knockouts on from the Irish News and all. And he's like, "Look at that, son, look at that." Like, no matter what I do, I can never be better on him. And he thinks he's a better actor on me. He's like better. He's been like a few acting things, like when he was growing up, like RTE things and all. On
the ads. Well, see, in fairness, he does have a photograph of him fighting my dad, and he beat him. Frankie beat my dad.
No way.
So my dad beat your dad's McCourt was
Your dad has a hard cunt as well, so Paddy, thanks. So, mate, we wanted you on for so long, so it's been
No
an
worries.
absolute pleasure to get you on eventually.
Thank you.
Thanks a million, mate.
We'll
No worries,
get you on
In
further.
the Fèile tomorrow.
See you in the morning. 6 a.m.
6 a.m. Bye.
Be long, Paddy. Absolutely gentle.
Thanks a million, mate.
Cheers,
Right.
mate.
I'd like to call that white girl problem. Met her back in autumn. Every gift I try to get her, she already got them. Messing with the TA, wonder what she taught him. Work her way down, literally to the bottom. Where are all my best friends? How can I ignore them? Never gonna text them, I am too important. Look at what my dad bought, yeah, it was imported. He took a second loan, cause our family can't afford it. Nice guy, bound to finish last if it's a sport. Call her CeeLo cause she crazy and her arms are kinda short. Got a traffic ticket once, but she didn't go to court. And she interrupts my sessions every time that I record. So I tell her I got so much shit up on my plate, it's a buffet. Now we out in Paris and these women look like Muzzy. Superficial, she just needed combs like Puffet. You don't need to go, but I think you need to trust me. Come take a drink with me, forget all you know. You pay tuition, I'll just live on the floor. I think you fly, but your friends ugly for sure. Well, come take a drink with me, forget doing blow. White girl problem, met her at a concert. Think it was Tiesto, already forgot it. Who am I to blame her? She was so obnoxious. Got a little taste of your lips, it was toxic. We should keep in contact. Okay, that is nonsense. Sure, I'll take your email. Tell me where to jot it. Got a pen and pencil on me at all times, cause I rhyme now. I'm kinda feeling genius that I brought it. Switch up, not black eyed peas, but I wish I was richer. Finally graduated, she majored in being mixed up. Recognize you from TV, yo, can we please take a picture? I call you Mary Kate, cause I can't really tell the difference. It beats me, addicted to pills and the Vici. The hills used to be cool, what happened to